Hi, I'm Aditya. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my project. My computer networks project is QR code file transfer, from computer to smartphone. This is my project. We all have been in that one situation where we had to send some files from our computer to our smartphone, but we didn't have any kind of applications to send that, right? Maybe you can tell me that you can send using WhatsApp or any other social media, chatting platforms. You can send the files, but you can't send movies using that. So I was always thinking about this because uh, I generally don't share movies and all, but I usually share any PDFs, PPTs, and each time like when I have to share all those PPTs and PDFs from my computer to my smartphone, I had to send it either through mail or I had to connect my USB and my smartphone and computer. Only then I was able to share the files from computer to my smartphone. So that's the reason why I was thinking about this, and that's how I made this. And after the pandemic, like we all have been used to do this QR code. QR code is basically a black and white code. We all have been used to this. Like whenever you go to a shop, like you will see a QR code these days because of the digitalization, like we are seeing this QR code and all the transactions, like most predominantly the transactions are made using this QR code. I mean the UPI transactions, right? So whenever you go to a shop to buy something, like you can just scan this QR code and you can make a transaction. So because of this, because of repeatedly seeing this QR code, I got this idea, and that's how I built this. So moving on to the next thing. So this is a problem that we used to face. Uh, Basically, we used to face the file transferring problem from our computer to a smartphone. So how was it built? So this application was built. I would rather say this runs on a command prompt. Basically, I would say it's a Python script. Yeah. So this was built using a Python programming language and the socket programming language. This application uses transmission control protocol. As we all know, it's TCP and file transfer protocol. We all know that TCP is a connection oriented protocol and it's secure. I also tried using UDP to build this project, but I didn't find much of a difference. So I was okay with TCP as it is more secure. So basically, what you can do is you can send files and folders from your laptop or personal computer to your smartphone. So files and folder can be sent. So how it works? So basically, your file and folder will get stored in a server, basically a web server, and that web server, that web server address is encoded into a QR code using a module named Python module named PyQR code, and then that QR code will pop up on your screen, on your computer screen. Once you scan that QR code using your mobile, you will be able to share the file. You will be able to see the same file which you shared from your personal computer. But the main point to note here is that your laptop as well as your smartphone should be on the same network. So right. So before moving ahead, I want to tell you all the difference between a file and a folder. Basically, a file is something which contains a valuable information, and we all know files in a folder, right? A file can be a Python file, Java file, or any kind of file. But a folder is not, folder doesn't have an extension. A folder can't be in a file, but a file can be in a folder. So basically, if a folder is a container where files are stored. So this is the difference between file and a folder. And when you think deep about files and folder, you may think that there will be some problems, transferring file and a folder, because file is different, a folder is different. I hope you get my point. I hope you get what a file is and what a folder is. Fine. So like I said it before, there is some problem when you're transferring file and folder. So I told you that a folder is a container where files are stored. A file can be anything, literally anything. It can be a text file, a Python file, Java file. It can be a movie or anything. So when you're sending a file. So by the comparison of file and folder, you can notice one point that file is, when compared to the folder, files of less size, and folder is of large size. So when you're sending a folder, you'll find that the time taken to generate a QR code is high. So let's take this analogy. So let's not think about this QR code at all for the time being, and let's think about you know when you're transferring. Let's say you are connected a flash drive into your laptop, and you are transferring a 10 GB game. Let's say it's GTA San Andreas. So when you're copying that from your laptop to your pen drive or something flash drive, so you may notice that it may take 5 to 10 minutes. But if you're trying to transfer a file of size 100 MB, it will take 1 minute or something. So as the size of the file increases, the amount of time taken to transfer obviously increases. So that's what is happening in this QR code also. So as the file, as a as a like I said before, the folder is of huge size. So when a folder is being transferred, the time taken to generate a QR code is very high. So that's the reason why I smartly converted that file into a zip file using this special Python function named make archive. So there's a special function named make archive, which belongs to a module named shutil in Python. So using that, I was able to convert a folder into a zip file. So that zip file will get will get transferred from your PC to your smartphone. So hence it reduces the size as well as it reduces the time it takes to generate the QR code. Moving ahead, you all may have this doubt of like what is the size limit to transfer. Generally, like when the size of the file increases, the time taken to transfer generally increases. But I had to test this. I tested my application using both of the extremes. I used one file which is of less size and another file which is of a very large size. So I tried sending a movie as well as I tried sending a text file. So the difference that I found was when I sent the text file, the QR just popped up within a second. But when I tried to send a movie, the QR generation took a lot of time. It took around some 8 minutes. So that's the difference that I found. And so the conclusion here is that you can send any kind of file of any size. So yeah. So what is the advantage of this application? So generally speaking, whenever you are, let's say there's no application as such, okay, for the time being. So when you're trying to transfer a file from your computer to your smartphone, you will either have to send it through whatever email or WhatsApp. Let's say email and WhatsApp are not there. Let's for the time being, let's assume that email and WhatsApp are not there. So if they are not there, then you should obviously send your files through some kind of hardware, which is a flash drive. So you have to use a flash drive, and for most of the times the flash drive gets corrupted because of the repeated file transfer, and the files in the flash drive or the files in the computer may get corrupted, and maybe like your files may get corrupted by virus, and like your uh, all the possible bad things will happen in your computer because of the virus getting into your computer. So that's one thing. And also, like, you can by using this file transfer, this QR file transfer, you are just cutting this hardware thing. You are also cost cutting. I mean, you are just reducing cost of buying the hardware, the basically the flash drive. And then you are also not physically inserting this flash drive into your computer, so that you can avoid spreading virus. You can avoid getting the files corrupted basically. So that is one advantage. So fine. So what is the disadvantage of this application? So the disadvantage of this application is that, um, like I said you before, as the size of the file increases, the amount of time it takes to generate QR code increases. So that is one disadvantage. Maybe like if you're trying to send a file, let's say like you're doing some machine learning task and you are trying to send a file of 100 GB to your smartphone. For the time being, let's assume this crazy example. So if you're sending some 100 GB from your mobile to from your sorry from your laptop to your mobile, then the time taken will be like maybe around some 30 minutes or something because of the huge file size. And the other disadvantage that I find is that, like, I told you before that when you have to transfer a file from your laptop to your smartphone, you should make sure that both of your smartphone as well as your laptop should be connected on the same network. So that's one disadvantage, because you can't send a file if your smartphone and your laptop are connected in different networks. Mostly, like in our day-to-day life, mostly we all have mobile data, which is like we will be connected to our local ISP. I mean, we have SIMs, right, like Airtel, Jio. We will have that internet, but on the laptops we have Wi-Fi. So some organization Wi-Fi. So both of these networks are different. So in such cases you can't transfer file. So you have to make sure that both of the smartphone as well as your laptop is connected to the same network. So what are the modules being used here? Python modules. So I have used random module, which produces the random integer numbers. I used this module to basically generate random port numbers. And this HTTP server is for this client server thing. Socket server is also for this client server connection. So argument parse is to parse a string basically. Fine, because when I had to convert the folder into a file, I had to change some change name in the directory. So I had to use this arg parse. And then comes the OS is for this operating system operations, which I'm doing in this file. And this is similar to OS. Socket is for the same, like client server. For that I use the socket. Using the socket I can I build this TCP connection. So as such util is as a minor module which I use to uh, you know I use this make achieve archive function. Make archive function is used to zip a file, zip a folder. Sorry. So and this PyQR code. PyQR code is a major thing in this project. PyQR code is a module wherein you can generate QR code. You can just you can use your name, and you can build a QR code upon your name using this PyQR code. So what I did was I built a QR code upon my server address basically. So further I use this PyQR code. So working off this application, like I said you before, the server stores the files that you are wishing to send, that you are willing to send. Here the QR code acts as a server, because the server address is getting converted into QR code. So basically I'm saying that QR code acts as a server and your smartphone acts as a client. Fine. And I'm using this TCP connection. And the files are copied to a project directory. The files that should be sent, the files that you're willing to send should be copied to the project directory. Project directory is the project directory is this project, this QR code file transfer project. So later in this video I will show you the demonstration of how this project is working. In that part you will understand like what is this project directory. So for the time being, like even if you don't understand, that's completely fine. So basically server stores the file and your smartphone acts as a client. So once your program is run, it asks for the file name that is need to be sent. So you have to enter the file name, and once you enter the file name, that file is get will get stored in a temporary directory. Temporary directory will get generated dynamically during the runtime. When your program is run, the temporary directory folder will get generated in your project directory. So in that temporary directory you'll see your files that you are wishing to send, and you will also see the QR code. So let's say during when you're using this project for the first time, for the first time, like you are sending some file, so the temporary directory has been created. When you're trying to send a file for the second time, you're running the Python script from the scratch. So you're trying to send another file, so at that time you will already have this temporary directory, because during the first time this temporary directory has been created. So what happens during the second time is that, so now we already have this temporary directory inside our project directory. So this time our temporary directory will get deleted, and a new temporary directory will get generated inside this project directory. So this new temporary directory will have this second time transfer files and the second time QR code. So when there is already existing temporary directory, basically it gets deleted and new temporary directory is created. Fine. So basically, I've talked about this files and folders. So when a file is sent, there is no problem. Like file can be directly sent. But when the folders are sent, there's a problem. So what I'm doing is that, like, I'm making that folder into a zip file, and I'm sending that using yeah, I'm sending that zip file to your smartphone. Basically, I'm sending a zip file from the computer to the smartphone. From in the smartphone, you can unzip it, and you can see the folder. So these are some snapshots of my project. So this is how the QR code is generated, and this is the demonstration. I'm sending this gradient descent notes, which is a machine learning concept. So this is a notes that was done by me. So I'm sending this note from my computer to my smartphone. I'm scanning the QR code, and see, I'm able to open it in my smartphone. And the main point here is that my smartphone network and my computer network, I mean, my personal computer network, are the same. Now let us see the actual demonstration of the application of the project. This is my project file. So let's say this gradient descent denotes a file is outside this project file. So now I'm putting this file, because I want to send this file, this gradient descent notes. I want to send this file to my smartphone, so I'm copying it here. So then after copying, I'm opening this this main file. So this is the main Python file. I'm using Tony IDE. This Tony IDE is a good IDE, like, as far as I know, in Python. So I'm using this. So I'm running this file. So once I run this file, like, it's asking me to I enter the file name that I want to transfer. So I'm entering the name. I've entered the name. Fine. So you should make sure that you enter the extension as well. The extension is .pdf. So I'm giving enter. So now the QR code will pop up. Let's wait for a few seconds. According to the file size, it will take time. So yeah, so see, the QR code is generated. So now we have to scan this QR code using our mobile, and let me now scan the QR code. I have scanned the QR code and I'm able to see the link. So if I click the link, I'm able to see the PDF file. See, this was the file that was sent by me from my personal computer to my smartphone, and I'm able to receive the file. I believe that I was able to explain my project in a concise way. I would like to thank my professor, who was supportive throughout this semester. Thank you.